House of Representatives seeks greater access to TET fund by tertiary institutions. Nigerian army beefs up security around Obikabia, where gunmen attacked security personnel. And World No Tobacco Day. Governments raise awareness of negative health effects and social and environmental effects. Hello and welcome to the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. We are reaching you live from Abuja. I am Dennis Adegunloye. We begin with the forthcoming documentary series of the first-year anniversary of President Bola Tinubu in office, as the Nigerian Television Authority continues transmission of special documentaries reflecting highlights of the president's administration as part of activities marking his 1 year in office. Tonight, the final set of documentaries will be aired, and between 8 and 8:30 p.m. comes the documentary on retracing steps, realigning Nigeria's value charter. And between 8:30 and 9 p.m. comes the gavel and the government's will come on air. The series promises to be insightful. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, remains committed to serving Nigerians in collaboration with President Bola Tinubu to give citizens a new lease of life. The statement from his special advisor on media and publicity, Eseme Eyibo, is in reaction to a publication by an online medium which attempted to disparage the person and impugn the integrity of Senator Akpabio by linking him to amnesia and corruption. The statement stressed that Akpabio is in excellent mental health and will not be distracted, describing the write-up as mischievous and unethical journalistic practice. It advised journalists to desist from such negative practices and urged the public to disregard the publication. In the meantime, the House of Representatives has decried the increasing rates of tertiary institutions that are yet to access the interventions of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, with a call on TET fund to bridge the gap. This was during an oversight visit by the lawmakers to the management and staff of TET fund in Abuja. National Assembly correspondent Mitaire Ekmen reports.
This visit by members of the House Committee on Tertiary Education Trust Fund is an oversight function to ascertain judicious use of TET fund interventions in beneficiary tertiary institutions as approved by the President and the Enabling Act of Parliament. A presentation of TET fund interventions and budget performance from 2020 to 2023 sets the ball rolling for questions requiring explanations.
Committee frowns at the high rate of unassessed intervention by beneficiary institutions. It is not in the interest of Nigeria. It is not in the interest of the tertiary institutions.
It's a very painful thing for us, especially given the inflationary trend. 1 billion 2 years ago is almost like 500 today or less. We have been appealing, we have been encouraging, and we have also been threatening. In the past, there used to be some punitive measures, which actually, even though it was meant to solve the problem, contributed to the problem. Exactly. But we have removed that now.
The committee acknowledges a remarkable rise in education tax collection from 257 billion naira in 2020 to 725 billion naira in 2023, but calls out companies evading the tax.
A situation where conglomerates, nice-looking corporations and companies pretend who look good before the public now declare losses, all in the name to evade taxes, is highly condemnable.
Between 2020 to 2024, about 1.4 trillion naira was disbursed by TET fund to beneficiary tertiary institutions for provision of critical infrastructure for teaching and learning. In Abuja, Mitaire Ekmen, NTA News.
Turning our attention to security-related matters, the Nigerian Army has reinforced its presence around Obikabia Junction in Abia State, where gunmen attacked and killed 5 soldiers at a military checkpoint. The situation has made the area literally lifeless, as socio-economic activities have ground to a halt in the area. Beauty Ego Bamia has a situation report.
This is Umuoba, close to Obikabia Junction, where gunmen unleashed mayhem on Thursday, killing 5 of the troops of Operation Udoka at a checkpoint where they were deployed to enforce peace in the area and protect citizens. The crew cannot go beyond this point because of intense military presence.
Already, the General Officer commanding 82 Division, 14th Brigade, Nigeria Army, Major General Hassan Dada, has visited the area. An official statement by the Director of Defense, Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, regrets the killings, emphasizing that investigation is ongoing on the matter. The statement adds that they will bring overwhelming military pressure on the group to ensure total defeat.
For now, socio-economic activities are gradually picking up in other parts of Aba, with military helicopter on full surveillance. In Aba, Beauty and Robamie, NTA News.
Now, an increased access to education on the dangers of tobacco use to help save lives of the millions of people dying and are being harmed from substance abuse in Nigeria has resonated as the West African nations join the international community to commemorate 2024 World No Tobacco Day. At a ministerial press conference, health partners on ending tobacco use harped on fast-tracking implementation and total compliance with legal frameworks to curb excesses of tobacco industries and protecting the young, who are the current target.
The theme for this year's campaign, which is protecting children from tobacco industry interference, seeks to raise awareness about the need to protect future generations by ensuring that tobacco use continues to decline. We therefore call on all relevant stakeholders to ensure effective implementation of the National Tobacco Control Act and its regulations.
In many countries, including Nigeria, the rate of e-cigarette use among adolescents exceeds that of adults. This indicates that the industry targets youth for a lifetime of profit, creating a new wave of addiction.
We doing our best to continue to do our best, and will enforce all laws made by our parliament to ensure that the use of tobacco is reduced to the barest minimum.
May 31st every year marks World No Tobacco Day, with global campaign health partners using the occasion to raise awareness about the dangers of tobacco use and to advocate for effective policies to reduce consumption. And as traditional, complementary and alternative medicines gain recognition worldwide, key players want Nigeria to have legal backing to navigate hurdles hampering implementation. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria say this would enable Nigerians to harness the preventive, promotive health and wellness it offers. Lydia Sampson reports.
The guests are unanimous that for Nigeria to realize a robust primary health care embracing integrative medicine is sacrosanct.
So in essence, it's a composite balance of health interventions that have the patient at the center for the best outcomes in health, mental and social well-being of individuals.
If you say modern tradition is put down for modern system, how you go measure the medicine, how you can use the medicine. Because that's why I call the modern traditional medicine practitioner. Not be like that old local, you know how we put down for modern system.
They are emphatic that the neglect of traditional, complementary and alternative medicine from which came modern medicine cannot continue.
We felt that if you must achieve universal health coverage, we must bring together all these 3 recognized healthcare systems
The orthodox emphasizes more on curative. Traditional, complementary, and alternative medicine emphasizes more on preventive and treatment.
And I want to urge them to persuade all the states to introduce the TCAM department in their ministries of health. It's very, very important. And then let integrative medicine be studied even in the higher institutions.
The non-communicable diseases are more complicated, so it also needs a multifaceted approach in addressing them, and this is what you call integrative medicine. Nutrition is really very important. It is no longer the domain of one person.
They urge Nigerians to leverage recognition by the WHO and United Nations to proactively support the holistic development and utilization of integrative medicine approach for a vibrant, healthy and inclusive nation that promotes sustainable health. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
In other news, the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, in partnership with the International Organization for Migration, has received more returnees from Sudan. The Federal Commissioner, Tijani Aliu Ahmed, while receiving them at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, says the federal government will continue to ensure Nigerians return home in safety and dignity.
The anxiety and the long wait to be back home is finally a reality. These are Nigerians who were trapped in Sudan as a result of the crisis in the country. The National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, in partnership with the International Organization for Migration, have been working to ensure their return home safely. Yahanatu Awal is among the 29 returnees. She left the country more than a year ago in search of greener pastures.
I had challenges with my marriage, so I decided to leave the country for Sudan. But I am glad to be back home. No place like home. I have spent 5 years in Sudan. I went to visit my aunt. But I'm glad to be back home. I miss my family.
I want to thank the IOM based on their contribution, both financially and morally, towards ensuring that Nigerians who have left far away in many countries outside of Nigeria are being returned home. The National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons is also making arrangements to return our Nigerians who are in Cameroon, to the tune of about 50,000 of them. We also have not less than 14,000 of them in Chad.
The returnees will be taken to a transit camp for psychosocial support before reintegration to their respective states. From January to date, the Commission and the IOM have facilitated the return of 1,950 Nigerians back to the country. In Abuja, Ruth Aguele, NTA News.
You're watching the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. More reports after this break. Stay with us.
It's been an uncommon year of public policy and governance to renew hope in Africa's largest democracy. Beginning May 27, join us on TV, online and on mobile for a series of documentaries and live shows as we detail the hope, resilience and progress of Nigeria in the last 1 year. Tune in as we make sense of Nigeria's paradigm shift in monetary and fiscal policies, death of the parasitic monster called subsidy, and boost in agriculture and food security. NTA.
You're welcome back. Reports are just coming in telling us that the organized labor have declared an indefinite strike beginning Monday, June 3rd, 2024, till a new national minimum wage is announced by governments. This is as the organised labour is expected to brief the press on the outcome of the National Minimum Wage Committee meeting later this evening.
Gentlemen of the press, we are hereby declaring the commencement of a nationwide industrial action, a nationwide
community stakeholders towards eradicating the scourge.
There has been concern recently over frequent cases of sexual and gender-based violence in the Federal Capital Territory. Most of the cases were recorded in the suburb areas of the Federal Capital. This therefore brought about awareness campaign to this community in Kwali. Professor Fatima Wazira Azi, the Director General of NAPTIP, said dialogue becomes paramount to create a supportive environment where victims feel safe to report cases of sexual and gender-based violence.
Have to do it in collaboration with all stakeholders, which means everyone present in this hall, and that also means that we are all partners in this fight. So this is not a fight that only government can do it. No, everybody in this hall is instrumental in ensuring that victims are protected.
In year 2015, the National Assembly enacted the Violence Against Person Prohibition Act, mandating NAPTIP to appoint protection officers in the 6 area council in the FCT to assist the court, police and service providers in the fight against gender violence. NAPTIP has therefore deployed 12 protection officers to the 6 area council.
The issue of rapes, we should take it serious in our communities because it damages our young girls that are the leaders of tomorrow.
We have been joining heads, even though we have our challenges. More especially, I will open it to today. The chiefs and the parents. I will blame them in respect of these issues, more especially rape of a young child.
Some concerns raised during the dialogue were issues of community and family interferences, protecting the offender, and witness intimidation to withdraw the charges. Amina Baba Suleiman, NTA News.
Traditional institutions play a pivotal role in ensuring peaceful coexistence. With a constitutional role that will restore this highly revered institution to its pride of place, many of the teething problems bedeviling the nation will easily be nipped in the bud before escalating to a festering sore. The Etsunupe, His Eminence Al-Haji Yahya Abubakar, at a public lecture organized by the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs on Traditional Authority and National Integration, says the experience of the monarchs is germane to the indivisibility of Nigeria. Joel Mokwala has details.
The successes recorded by traditional institutions in effectively managing their subjects dates back to pre-colonial era. Even in the colonial era, the British government relied majorly on their wealth of experience to administer the country. At this public discourse on traditional authority and national integration, Etsunupe, His Eminence Alhaji Yahya Abubakar, says like the proverbial prodigal son, it is time to pay serious attention to some of the alternative solutions that made Nigeria of our founding fathers livable for all. The guest lecturer knows that the National Council of Traditional Rulers should be recognized beyond just advisory role alone.
The philosophy of unity, security, economic and other challenges bedeviling Nigeria need the positive contributions of all and sundry to contain them. The traditional institution is perhaps the most veritable tool to be used in this regard.
For the Director General of NIIA, Professor Ehosa Osagai, and other speakers, including traditional rulers, Nigeria cannot afford to relegate the oldest institution to the background, especially in view of their influence at the grassroots.
We need to acknowledge the role of traditional institutions. In the constitutional review, maybe it's part of what should be discussed.
Governments come and go, the traditional institutions remain. They are more closer and they are more conscious of the security because they know everybody within the community.
The traditional institutions need to be recognized, need to be put into proper perspective.
While conversations like this, which seeks to strengthen traditional institutions, continue, stakeholders agreed that there is need for wider consultations to make Nigeria's democratic structure align with the principles that speak to our national identity. In Lagos, Joel Bukbola, NTA News.
Now, experts blame the rising spate of mental health-related issues in Nigeria on isolation, extinction of communal life due to the information superhighway, and a lack of adequate sleep, among others. In this special report, Mina Daniels sought answers to the causes and solutions to mental health issues in the country.
The World Health Organization, WHO, estimates that a whopping 20% of Nigerians, or around 40 million people, are affected by mental illness. Other sources say 3 out of every 10 Nigerians suffer one mental disorder or another. Alarming by every parameter. Reason the Nigerian government set up various interventions to put the situation in check. Yet there seems to be an upsurge, especially with an estimated 17.4% per 100,000 suicide cases in Nigeria linked to mental illnesses.
Mental health suffers challenges when the emotional, the psychological, and the cognitive aspect being health of the person is affected.
Experts say this calls for concern, particularly as 75% of Nigerians are said to be currently experiencing acute anxiety, situations capable of inflicting mental challenges that could lead to death. They worry even as they call for individual effort and teamwork in checking the ugly trend.
There are so many causes, so many different things that causes mental illness. Some are, of course, hereditary from the genes. Those really, nobody has control over them. But again, environment, the conditions in which we live, the things going on around us also impact our mental health.
To build resilience and enjoy sound mental health, observers advocate leveraging on cluster, investing on social capital, avoiding psychopathic substances, among other measures.
I always say is look after your physical health. Nobody who lives with
to keep mental disorders at bay. In Abuja, Mina Daniels, NTA News.
You've been watching the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. Here's a look at our major stories. House of Representatives seeks greater access to TET fund by tertiary institutions. Nigerian Army beefs up security around Obikabia, where gunmen attacked security personnel. And on World No Tobacco Day, governments raise awareness on the negative health effects as well as social and environmental impact. That concludes the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Dennis Adegunloye.